Unfortunately, one of the best examples of all time to have a discussion to use as an example has to do with Hitler and fascist Germany. Nazis required a similar psychological system as most countries use now, although their limits were different. And what they did and said and required, and what other countries around the world do, including the United States of America, has to do with denying an innate freedom to an inhabitant of an object in outer space with the purpose and goal of maintaining a civilization and a birth rate on planet Earth now. Fascists hated many parts of life. In other countries, those leaders in charge who are so dominant are violently protected with a duality set forth by their military, their soldiers, intelligence officers, and police forces. And when someone practices a religion not allowed, they're jailed, killed, murdered, tortured, interrogated, and unfortunately, occasionally imprisoned. These countries in the world and those most primitive and indigenous and attractive to those Marxist theorists, philosophers, and revolutionaries in the USA have a similar restriction with women to have families and to have control and to have what's needed to hunt, gather, find, and eat and drink. A broader discussion uses much time, but a simple, concise, and clear overview begins to give more opportunity for freedom, consciousness, brain and body in world, to have less limits and control and restrictions and suffering now. There's almost nowhere on planet Earth talked about, and arguably nowhere on Earth, an object in outer space, discussed other than small communities, religious states, and cult mystics, where there's not a duality and a psychological system and processes keeping consciousness as a weapon and using a weapon of consciousness for those rich and famous and powerful and dominant to have more stimulation as a reward for all of the hours they give to the public they serve, all of the years they tirelessly think and have thoughts to feed those poor, to protect those women with those rockets called nuclear weapons, to have a government now. And these governments have these scientists, and these scientists say the consciousness has to do with a bigger mystery with the universe and galaxy. Almost immediately, taking a discussion about a human process in a body and starting a hallucination. Having to think and have thoughts and try to figure out and solve a problem and make a decision, and getting more confused, more distracted, more misdirected, and causing consciousness to not have peak performance and optimism. And most importantly, optimization. Optimization to benefit those who need the energy the most, who are so limited with their resources and money and dollars, those billionaires and millionaires used to buy their cars and their houses and their investments and their gold watches and their silver jewelry. Who use their consciousness less for food and energy, never a problem, and water, always an easy decision, involving a plastic bottle now. And these governments and these systems on planet Earth cause a duality, suffering humans in bad conditions, hungry, afraid, said to be emotional by psychologists with a mood and a color, in need of prescriptions, a psychiatrist explains in a doctor's office. And a hospital provides afterwards some behavior modification, and then later a therapist, some cognitive behavioral therapy. Solving problems with decision making within procedures in a government system and processes of control, of limits, and most worst of all, slavery. Ethnic slavery, gender slavery, and plain old racist slavery. Governments and systems use minutes and seconds in time. Talking about a stimulus plan and some $1,000 everyone's going to receive, and everyone's going to be so much better, and look at how pretty Mr. Joe Biden, Mr. President Joseph Biden, appears in his suit, and look at the consciousness you get from Mrs. Vice President Kamala Harris's ethnic diversity and multicultural race. Oh, golly gee whiz. There's no longer problems. The government's going to send $1,000. And then afterwards, they're going to talk some more. They're going to do some more work, pass some more bills, and have some more elections. And in other countries, they're going to have concentration camps, genocide soldiers to cleanse out those who are bothering their consciousness and their stimulation when they need a reward for digging holes for bodies. Now, glitz and glamour, glitter and fake unicorns, hippie clothes, stylish Jeff Bezos clothes, billionaire presidential suits and ties, gangster thugs and cartel mafia bullies and their sideways hats and gang colors and graffiti signs and symbols and objects drawn on walls. Now, there's little to wake up in the morning and be excited to do, hearing Elon Musk talk so enthusiastically about consciousness and a mystery that him and scientists have as inspiration, motivation, a mystery involving a galaxy and an infinity and a universe and mathematics and equations. They don't get bothered by, with their bank accounts providing delivery services for their foods and their businesses they own, giving them whatever they want whenever they need energy to continue their hard-fought work with climate change and all of the problems humans have as a result of bad policies, they say, needing more democratic help and assistance, and Donald Trump, a former Mr. President, impeached now.